Good morning, this is Amy from Super Healthy Kids and I'm back with another session of our meal prep. This one for the meal plan, March 7th through the 13th. We're excited about meal prepping this year. This is a game changer. And the thing is, if you just spend an hour on a Saturday, you're going to have all your dinners ready to go every night of the week. You don't need to have takeout, you don't need to stress, and you don't need the mess. So if you can do that, then your life will be so much easier. So this week we are going to make a mushroom quinoa bowl, a Mexican chicken casserole, Italian pasta with side dish, white bean and spinach soup, and a cauliflower crust pizza. So there's a lot we got to do in this next hour, so stay tuned. I'm headed to the grocery store. I'll get all the ingredients we need for those 5 dinners and we'll have them ready to go in an hour flat. See you in a minute. Okay, so the first dinner I'm going to make is the mushroom quinoa bowl. I'm actually going to assemble the entire dinner, and this is going to be served on Monday. So on Monday we are going to just take it out, warm it up, serve it over a bed of spinach and add some strawberries, and it's going to be our whole dish. So the only thing I need to do to get this ready is to saute some onions, mushrooms, and garlic, and then I'm going to add some seasonings, some broth, and then the raw quinoa, and just let it simmer until it's all absorbed. So super simple. Add my veggies first. Okay, while my mushrooms and onions are cooking, I'm going to look at the next dish, which is the Mexican chicken casserole. I'm going to assemble almost the whole casserole, everything except cooking it and adding the meat. And so I'm going to start with a cup of brown rice. And we're just going to add everything in this meal straight to this container. And I have just enough brown rice. We are adding corn, black beans, green pepper, salsa, and some seasonings and chicken broth. So all of that's going to go in. And this is perfect because I had 1 cup of chicken broth exactly left from last week. So this is going to be my whole dish, obviously not cooked yet, but I'm going to label it, and then we're going to add some chicken to a separate container that I'll keep right with it, and we can cook it all together on Tuesday. Now another great thing about batch prepping is because this recipe calls for 1 pound of chicken, although my chicken came in 3 pounds. So I can portion it out for our different meals and save a lot of money that way. So I'm just going to take 1 of these chicken breasts and just slice it into chunks and add to my container. So once I have those chicken breasts sliced up, I can label that with the same dinner, Mexican chicken casserole. And I'm going to put these together, and our Tuesday dish is ready. So now it's time for me to go back to Monday and see how my veggies and quinoa are doing. Okay, so if we go back to the mushrooms I started that are cooking and smell amazing, I'm just going to add the rest of these ingredients to that dish, put the quinoa in, and then just let it simmer until I'm done with the rest of my meals. I've got some tomato paste I'll add, some fresh lemon juice, some cumin. I'm not very good at measuring, but I think I can eyeball things pretty good. Salt. Next, we're going to want a cup of water and 3/4 cup of quinoa so that it can all be, the quinoa can be cooked with the veggies. So we're going to put this back on the stove and let it simmer. Okay, so we're ready for Wednesday. Wednesday is another spaghetti night, Italian pasta with a side salad. We're going to assemble our whole salad into salad jars. We like to do that. The veggies stay nice and crisp until you're ready to eat them. So we're going to do that, and we're going to make our tomato sauce ahead of time so that we can just add it to our noodles on Wednesday. So to make our side salad, we're going to use just some romaine lettuce, some cherry tomatoes, some Parmesan cheese, and a dressing that we're going to make. So I've been snacking on these, so there's not as many left as there could have been, but they are delicious. So we're going to rinse our lettuce. So I'm just going to take a few chops with the cherry tomatoes, put them on the bottom of our jar, just because they're heavier, they're juicier, they'll probably stay better doing that. And next I'll add the lettuce. A lot of people say, how do you eat salad out of salad jars? And the thing is, most of the time we don't. We just keep them in salad jars because they stay fresher longer. And then because we eat a lot of our meals at home, we'll just dump the whole thing into a big bowl, especially if we're eating as a family. We'll just put it in a big bowl. And this is just great because you don't have to worry about the vegetables for your salad. It'll already be done. And I really like to pack the lettuce in because you can fit a ton in here if you just squash it down. And then we will top our salad with some Parmesan cheese. And yeah, this doesn't look like a lot of salad. I can make 2 of them if I thought my family would eat 2. But a lot of times we just take a small serving and it's plenty for that. And you can keep squishing it down and it'll actually pour out into a pretty big jar or bowl once we're done. Plenty of Parmesan on the top there. And then for the dressing, I'm going to mix that up and just keep it in a little container next to it so that we can add the dressing the night of our meal. Okay, so our pasta night, we've got our salad, we have some dressing, homemade dressing mixed up, and now I'm going to make a simple red sauce. And for this, we're just going to use onion, garlic, some Italian seasonings, tomato paste, and crushed tomatoes. And so first, we always cook the onion because we like to get that translucent flavor. Cook our onions, add a little garlic. This week, I just got the jarred garlic instead of cloves of garlic. I've done both. I like both. This is just easy. Now here's another great reason to meal prep. We used part of this tomato paste in our mushroom quinoa bowl, and we're going to use the last tablespoon of it in our spaghetti sauce. So then the whole can will be gone, and we will have saved some of our tomato paste for that. Okay, now we're just going to wait for our pasta sauce to simmer till we're done with the rest of our meal prep. The longer your pasta sauce simmers, the thicker it'll be and the better the flavor will be. Okay, so while our pasta is simmering, our pasta sauce, and the longer that simmers, the better it's going to be. So I'll just like to leave it behind me. I'm going to get this white bean and spinach soup ready. Now, this might be a little different than some of our other preps. I'm going to just layer everything we're going to need for the soup in this big bowl. And the reason I'm going to layer it is because you put these things in one at a time as you're cooking it in your pot. So the very last thing that's going to go into our soup is some parsley. Some fresh parsley, just 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to put that at the very bottom because that's the last thing that's going to go into our soup. More of just some flavor. And then there's a little bit of lemon, so I'm actually just going to squeeze it on my parsley and it'll be included in our soup. Make sure you don't get the seeds in there when you're squeezing it, or you could just use a a pre-made bottle of lemon juice, which is probably easier than this, but then we're actually going to put some spinach in this soup, and we want 2 cups. It's baby spinach, so it's a good size anyway, but because it's soup, I'm going to make it a little smaller. We'll put this out front. So this will be the second to the last thing that goes in. So that's our spinach. Then we're going to add the beans. And you know, as you're dumping this into your pot on the day you're making your soup, it's okay if you get a few spinach leaves with your beans and whatever. It's all going to come together anyway, but so there goes our beans. Then is a pasta called orzo, and orzo looks just like little tiny rice pellets. Then we're going to have a couple of bay leaves. And then some vegetable broth, and we haven't talked about our basket today yet, but this is our dinner basket that I keep in the pantry, and if there's something I need the family not to eat, like the vegetable broth that I'm going to want to keep until Thursday, then it'll go in this basket, and this is our do not eat basket, so they'll know that that's for dinner. Then some more seasonings, onion and garlic on the top. And if you really want to make sure that you saute your onions separately from the rest of the soup ingredients, then you can add it to like a little sandwich bag or another mini container and just put it right inside this container, and you'll just be able to keep it there until your dinner. Once all my bean ingredients are ready to go, I'm going to label this whole bowl white bean and spinach soup. And for this one is when we're going to eat our homemade rolls once they're done. So there's another dish completely done. The only thing left we have is cauliflower pizza, and then to revisit all the meals we're half done with. So let's get started on our cauliflower crust pizza. I'm going to make the whole cauliflower crust today and chop our veggies, and then we're going to make the pizza next week. So I actually do want to show you how easy a cauliflower crust can be. It sounds intimidating at first, and it actually takes a few times to get it just right, but once you do, it'll be great. It's a great skill to be able to make this crust. Okay, once your cauliflower is all like almost powdery, we're going to put it in a separate bowl and add some ingredients. So to the cauliflower, I'm going to add mozzarella, shredded mozzarella, I'm adding 2 eggs and some seasoning and some garlic. Then I'm just going to stir that all up. We're going to spray some parchment paper and then dump our cauliflower crust onto that. And just shape it into a pizza crust. Okay, so here is our pizza crust, and we're going to cook it at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Okay, then while our crust is cooking, we're going to finish putting together the meals we started with. So, our mushroom quinoa bowl is actually all finished and ready to go. We are just going to warm it up that night and put it over some spinach and serve it with strawberries. And I'm going to keep the rest of this spinach for this dish. So I could even tape it down so that the family doesn't eat it for other things and write on it. And then this will get a label too. Mushroom quinoa bowl with spinach. So that's meal number 1. Meal number 2 is our Mexican chicken casserole. We have all the chicken cut and ready to go. And the rest of the casserole dish to this very container. The chicken added to the top and then actually some cheese on top of that. So that'll be delicious. The Italian pasta with side salad. Here's our side salad. Here is the dressing for our side salad. And here is our red sauce. That into a jar, and that is going to be ready for dinner on Wednesday. And so this is one complete meal. And of course the pasta itself, the spaghetti noodles, will add to our dinner basket, our do not eat dinner basket. So that's 3. Our 4th meal is the white bean and spinach soup. So we have our white bean soup all ready to go. So that's done. And then the last thing is our cauliflower crust pizza, which is going to be about 10 more minutes, and then I'll take it out and show it to you. So now that I have just about everything prepped, just before I clean it all up and put it all away, I'm going to take an inventory of what I have left over and either preserve it to save for another week or get it ready for us to eat this week. So for example, I have this extra chicken breast and a half, and I could season it and bake it right now just so we can eat it during the week, but I actually think I'm going to freeze it. This is just home from the store today, so I don't need to worry about it being frozen and refrozen. So I'm going to just put these away until next week, and then I will have some chicken all ready. The other thing we have extra of, for some reason, I have an extra green bell pepper. We always make a snack container with our leftover veggies so that somebody can eat them right out of the fridge. I have some homemade hummus, we have salsa, we have peanut butter, whatever somebody wants to dip with our extra veggies. So I have that. I also bought a cucumber just because I love adding this to our snack box every day. So I'm going to slice those up for the kids. And then we have some extra cheese, which will never go to waste because my kids will see it and they'll eat it. And then I still have, I know I say this every week, but I still have this huge bag of sweet potatoes that we got at Costco, and my kids have been eating a ton of them. All I do is bake a few once a week, and then they can grab it as soon as they get home from school, warm it up. If you don't like to cook your potatoes in foil, you can wrap it in parchment paper first and then the foil if that worries you. But it's nice to have these warm sweet potatoes ready to go when they get home from school. So those are our extras. I'm going to clean this up, and then hopefully our cauliflower crust will be done by then. And our cauliflower crust pizza is done. This actually only took 20 minutes. I'm not going to flip it because it definitely cooked all the way through. I don't need any more time on it. I'm just going to wrap it in this parchment paper plus some new parchment paper so that we can keep it until next week.